Good evening, folks. Dr. Jim Gishwin here, PhD. I'm a little livelier now. I don't know what it was. Had something to do with new medicine, something like that. And I'm getting my skin cancer taken care of up here on my head. And they gave me something for the dandruff in my beard. Get that dandruff off of there. Beard dandruff. Okay. Us hourly workers were having a hard time sitting there dealing with these snow day in Pensacola tomorrow. Snow day in Pensacola? Last time I saw it snow down here was 93, and the other time was my last quarterdeck watch on the Lexington, New Year's Eve, 1989. Anyway, and there was 3 inches of snow on the quarterdeck here in Pensacola. 3 inches of snow. That was a pretty good one. I know that because I trudged out there. I was going to illegally light off some fireworks for my last quarterdeck duty. Anyway, I don't know. I don't know about that Iowa thing. The thing is, what they don't understand about the Iowa thing is independents and Democrats can vote in that stuff. They can participate in the caucus. Okay, so that was actually a pretty big win. And if you count DeSantis' vote, Vivek Swami's vote, both MAGA people, he had over 75% MAGA vote in that state. That's counting independents and Democrats too. Okay, so that was a blowout. The left is melting down. The other news channels are ridiculous. I mean, absolutely ridiculous. I mean, Rachel Maddow, Joey Reid, and our ex-congressman from down here, Joe Scarborough, Morning with Joe. Unbelievable. These people are absolute morons. They're absolute morons. And remember this, anytime they're accusing the Republicans of doing, okay, is something they're doing. And quite frankly, we're more diverse. Republicans are, conservatives are, than the left. Look at them. They sit there and all that's in their head is race division, controlling speech, denying people religious, going to church during COVID. This was all the left. Fauci and the left. Fauci was a leftist, for God's sake, yes. You talk about autocratic. They're tearing down the Constitution of the United States bit by bit. Okay, they weaponize departments of the government against their political opponents. Same thing that's going on in Pakistan right now, a third world country, where someone's sitting there trying to take their opponent to court during a campaign. Thank God that we're getting good conservative leaders around the world. Italy, Romania, Argentina. Okay. And a good election in Taiwan, where they're going to stand fast against China's encroachment. They're just not going to antagonize them. And of course, strength through power. We got more diversity actually in our party, in the MAGA movement. We've got 28% black conservatives, for God's sake. And just as many, if not more, black Hispanic. These are normal, everyday people. They're not extremists. Remember, the word Nazi and fascist is the marriage of state and government. That's what they're doing now. Remember everything I told you that they say someone else is doing is something they thought of, and they're doing it. Okay? It's absolutely insane. That's absolutely insane. Nazi stands for National Socialist German Workers' Party. Socialist. Keyword, socialist. Okay? Conservatives are not socialists. They're not fascists. They want government out of things. That is our belief. That is what we believe in. And we believe in the Constitution, God, and our country. Okay? And we don't care what color you are if you're running for president. God, we've had black people run for presidents since Alan Keyes, and I loved him. Boy, he would tear the living daylights out of people in a debate. He was so fun to watch. I mean, God, I wish he had a chance back then. I was really rooting for him. I was rooting for Ben Carson, too. Very talented and smart man. Okay? Just because he sits there and doesn't get up there on a podium and yell and scream. I mean, strength through weakness. We got Saudi Arabians hanging up on Biden. We got other people hanging up on Biden. And so what does Biden do to one of our closest allies, our only real close ally in the Middle East, Israel? Hangs up on him when Bibi gives him a call. Okay? We are sitting there threatening our own allies. And of course he's turning his back a little bit on Taiwan too. He doesn't want to sit there. We have alliances, military treaties with these people. They get drawn into something, we're going to get drawn into it. That's what Trump says we have to get out of this stuff. Now, Trump's problem when I'm teaching leadership, he was a great leader. Okay? Progressive, charismatic leader. But his problem was he had no filter between the brain and the mouth. Okay? Think what you want of him, but if we go to war, and if we have a problem, we need a junkyard dog. I tried to explain to my students, I said, look, I've been up there to Queens on the mega bus to sit there and try out for Who Wants to Be a Millionaire twice. Made it to the finals once. Almost got on. Anyway, everyone up there talks like that. They tell you exactly what's on their mind. Okay? Now, some people say that's why New York is kind of a very rude town. Because they will. They don't back off. They sit there and tell you exactly what's on their mind. And that's the way Trump was raised in those neighborhoods. You got to understand that, man. I mean, he's done some great things. All right? And he's not a dictator. He's a constitutionalist. If you look at his old TV shows, okay, The Apprentice, and just like he did with what's her name that went up there for prison reform, he sits there and listens to everybody without saying a word. He wants everyone's input. Haven't you seen him on his way to the helicopter, on his way to a plane, stop and ask people what they think about this and that? He really wants to know. Okay? He doesn't want to be in a bubble. And these people sitting there using lawfare on them, pretty weird. The most dangerous one he's got is that Orlando thing from Mar-a-Lago thing, where they sit there and think that he may have sit there and tried to disturb evidence. But at the same time, they find all this stuff laying around in Joe's stuff, okay? Like Obama said, never underestimate Joe's ability to F something up. And Edward Kennedy said he was the dumbest senator in the bunch. Okay? And I'm trying to remember, I think it was Panetta, sat there and said that Joe Biden was on the wrong side of history in everything in his career. And he's still on the wrong side of history. And they're going to sit there and push him back up there. If he's alive through the election time, they will prop his butt back up there. Okay? And you know something? The reason that the left does not like conservative black Republicans, conservative brown Republicans, conservative green Republicans, anything like that, is it shows diversity. And by God, that's their story. That's them. Okay? That used to be the party they called the party of the blue-collar working class man, whatever color. Okay, now it's the Republicans, guys. It's like Trump says, man, he's just standing in the way of them trying to get at us. Because these are our liberties that we're losing. And you better be daggone sure of that. Okay? Remember, these people do not like us. The new president of Argentina is going to the Davos group, the World Economic Forum, those bunch of nutcases, billionaire nutcases that think they want to control the world and make it a global society, no borders. Oh, yeah. Then you lose your sovereignty. That's why they're against Trump. It's the globalists. I worked in D.C. a number of times. It is full, everything, of globalists. And you've got a state-run media now. Okay? They run cover, all of them run cover. I taught my students, I said, always remember this, the haves will always lie to the have-nots. Okay? And power will always be pressing down on you, and the only thing that you have to fight back, okay, is your own personal self-confidence and God. That's what you fight back with, okay? Your own strength and God. Speaking of strength and weakness, Reagan did it, for God's sake, brought us to a 600... He bankrupted the Soviet Union, for God's sake. Got the wall torn down, the Cold War ended. Now we're in another Cold War with the same old people. All right? And we have to have strength. We can't have a woke military. Austin should be torn out of office. He was 6-9 as president, for God's sake. And when the president sits there and opens those nuclear codes, which Joe would never do, I don't know who up there behind him is going to be doing that, because he would fumble with it. Okay? And not be able to read it unless it's on a teleprompter. Can you imagine putting the nuclear codes on a teleprompter for him? But Austin's the one that has to verify it. And he sits there and checks out, doesn't tell his deputy's on vacation. So who's running everything? We know it's the chief of staff up in the White House and that cabal behind them, the old Obama cabal. And the good thing about the Democrats is they don't have a bench to run against our slate, our heavy bench of candidates. We got a ton of good candidates. I wouldn't like Nikki Haley because she wanted to sit there and in the future raise the Social Security age to 70 for some of our young people. That would kind of cheat them, wouldn't it? And also, she wants to raise taxes. Also, she wants to sit there and have a verified identity on the internet. Now, I'm verified. I don't care. All right? I'm old enough to say, hey, I don't care what people think of me. That's one of the blessings when you start to become like a great-grandfather. All right? You can assume that great-grandfatherly image and say, I don't care what y'all think about me. But I have to sit there and live with myself. Okay? You got to understand, we need to get our country back. I'm going to leave you with this, guys. There's hope out there. I'm praying there's hope out there. The only way they're going to get it this time is to really cheat. With no pandemic going on, with the excuse of the mail-in ballots, we might have a chance. Okay? God bless you. I remain your humble servant. See, I cracked a smile. Have a good one. Take care.